epic scary movie.
The thought of being kidnapped is absolutely terrifying. Whether you're abroad, in a random city, or even in your hometown, being kidnapped, not knowing where you are or what's happening, is just frightening. What happens if you're a 13-year-old boy being kidnapped? Weak and alone, and now in the basement of a kidnapper. What would help, though, is if there's a black phone with ghosts from the kidnapper's victims guiding you along the way to help you escape. What's up, YouTube? Zero here, and today I have a movie review of The Black Phone. Now, in this video, I'll go over the synopsis, although I pretty much summarized it there. Then I'll get into some of the aspects of the movies, the actors, the directors, and what I liked and didn't like about the movie, from the acting to the storyline. Then at the end of the video, I'll get into some reviews or ratings from prominent websites such as Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, and IMDb. Then at the end of the video, I will go over my final ranking for The Black Phone. Before I get into it, I do want to say, if you do enjoy this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more horror movie reviews. I do a bunch, so feel free to check out those others as well. This one is for The Black Phone. Without further ado, let me get into the synopsis of The Black Phone, courtesy of Rotten Tomatoes. Finney, a shy but clever 13-year-old boy, is abducted by a sadistic killer and trapped in a soundproof basement where screaming is of little use. When a disconnected phone on the wall begins to ring, Finney discovers that he can hear the voices of the killer's previous victims, and they are dead set on making sure that what happened to them doesn't happen to Finney. So, like I said, if you're abducted, it would be nice to have someone guiding you along the way. Now, The Black Phone, you may have seen some of the actors in it before. If you're a fan of Sinister, you may recognize a few, and you may get a similar vibe from Sinister in The Black Phone, but I'll discuss more of that in a little bit. First, let's talk about the acting. Now, the grabber, the villain of this story, is played by Ethan Hawke, who is a prominent actor, not just in horror movies, but in movies in general. He's starred in a lot of different movies. He starred in Sinister, of course, one that I just previously mentioned, a movie that I love. He starred in The Purge, so he has had a decent horror background. He's also been in Training Day, amongst other movies. The main actor, Finney, the character who is kidnapped, the 13-year-old boy, played by Mason Thames, this is actually his first role. So, how does he do? Well, I'll get to that right after I talk about the other main actor in this, Madeline McGraw, who plays Finney's sister. She plays Gwen, and she's been in actually a fair amount. American Sniper, Outcast, the TV show, and Disney's Secrets of Sulphur Springs. So she's been in a decent amount despite her young age. Now there are other supporting actors who have been in other movies. A lot of them have been in Sinister because the director, Scott Derrickson, actually directed Sinister. You may also know him from directing Doctor Strange and Deliver Us from Evil. So he has a wide background of directing 2 horror movies that I just mentioned. So he has a good horror background, and other great movies such as Doctor Strange. But now that I've talked about the actors and the director, let's talk about what I thought about the acting and directing. It's always hit or miss when you get a young actor who hasn't portrayed any roles in films before, or even TV. Mason Thames did an excellent job as Finney. He was great, didn't really make any mistakes, and was very convincing as a young, scared 13-year-old boy. I loved his acting job in this movie. They picked the right actor for this role. Now, Madeline McGraw, who played his sister, also did a phenomenal job. I can think of certain movies where they've had young actors and actresses who have done decent, but you can see a mess up or two as they were portraying their roles. Both Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw do a fantastic job, and they are insanely convincing. Add Ethan Hawke to their performance as the Grabber, and this movie is absolutely fantastic from an acting perspective. The acting in this horror movie was great. I give that a thumbs up, and really elevated the movie. Now the director, Scott Derrickson. You can see the aspects of Sinister in this movie. He really utilizes his horror elements that he brought to Sinister and brought it to The Black Phone. Now, you don't always think of a kidnapping movie as one that's going to get your adrenaline going or your heart flowing, but this he does a very good job in, and I absolutely loved his directing in this movie. So the horror elements that he threw in, along with the Grabber and Finney's acting portraying that scared 13 boy, this all around was an absolutely phenomenal job. Now let me talk about the plot of this movie and what I liked. Again, like I said, you don't always think of a kidnapping movie as one that's going to get your blood flowing or make you a little scared. It's kind of maybe keeps you on the edge of your seat a little bit, maybe more of a suspenseful type of movie. But this does a very good job of incorporating the ghosts into The Black Phone, along with some of the other horror elements that you can put in a horror movie, and does an all-around good job of capturing both the kidnapping aspect of horror, the suspenseful aspect of horror, and the ghost aspect of horror. I enjoyed this movie from start to finish. The plot was great, throwing in twists and turns, along with the ghosts of the phone, Ethan Hawke as the Grabber, hoping that Finney can get out, unlike his predecessors. The ending was also phenomenal. The character development was great. You get great character development of not just the main characters, but the supporting cast as well, such as Finney and Gwen's dad, and some of the other characters as well, such as the previous victims of the Grabber. So I absolutely loved the character development in this movie as well. They did a phenomenal job. So from start to finish, a lot of aspects of this movie were great. It's hard for me to find a lot of flaws within The Black Phone. So now that I've talked about what I've liked, let's get into some of the ratings from prominent sites. First, Rotten Tomatoes. From critics, we're at an 83%, so that's certified fresh. From users, even better at an 88%, so that's absolutely great from Rotten Tomatoes. Metacritic, we're going to be a little bit lower. We have a 65 from critics and a 7 from users. IMDb, we're just a tad lower from that user score. The stars on IMDb is at a 6.9 stars. So now that I've talked about the ratings from those prominent websites, let's talk about my rating. I absolutely loved the character development, the acting, and the plot of The Black Phone. It kept me on the edge of my seat, and I really wanted Finney to succeed. Now, I'm not going to say if he does, but I did love the ending as well. I got emotionally attached to the characters, and Scott Derrickson did a great job of getting me emotionally attached to the characters. So for that reason, I'm giving The Black Phone an 8 out of 10. It was absolutely a phenomenal horror movie, and I recommend checking this out. This is going to be one of my go-to horror movies when I'm in the mood to put something on. But let me know in the comments section if you've watched The Black Phone and what you think of it. Do you like it as much as I did? Is it an 8 out of 10 or is it higher? Did you not like it as much? Did you rate it a little bit lower? Let me know some of your favorite horror movies from 2022. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and until next time, stay spooky. Peace.